Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a video that is high-key exposing myself, but I think it's going to be embarrassing but also kind of fun to talk about. I'm going to be doing a video about all of the makeup that I've purchased when I've been drunk. Now, there's more makeup in this video than I care to admit, frankly, but I feel like I cannot be alone, in the sense that sometimes when I drink, I get a little spendy, okay? And obviously alcohol lowers your inhibitions and it takes the voice in my head that says you shouldn't buy this away completely sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. So now I'd also like to mention, it's not like I've been wasted every time I've like purchased one of these items, but even, you know, you have like one or two drinks and you're like, maybe I will buy that thing that I've kind of been wanting after all. Anyway, let's just fucking get into it. So the first couple of items that I want to talk about, this was a while ago that I bought these, like maybe 2 years at this point. It has to be. Yeah, I think 2 years. And I don't know what to tell you. I just bought it. So the first item is, this is the NARS, what is this? Hot Tryst Cheek Palette. Now, I had seen this on Sephora and thought that this was the most beautiful thing that I've ever seen in my life, and I still think the packaging on this is, like, I couldn't make a better packaged item. I think this is one of the most beautiful makeup products that I own. It's so, like, if you can see it, it's so beautiful, but it's so expensive. It's like, I think $70. This is the inside of it. It's a like glowy blush and highlighter palette, and I'd been wanting this. I thought it was really pretty, but I was like, I cannot justify spending that much money for a blush palette. And then drunk me decided that yes, I could. I don't really regret buying this because I have gotten a ton of use out of it. I'm wearing this like light pink highlighter on my cheeks today, even though it's over top of a cream highlighter that didn't really blend out that well anyway. So it's not in its true unadulterated form, but I think this is a really beautiful highlight. This highlight up here is a little bit too deep for me, but if you like glowy blush, these are really beautiful. And I liked this so much that I bought the palette that came out like in the summer after this got released, I think. They had like a summer version of this, and I love that one too. But there's something about these blushes that just make your cheeks look so glowy and healthy and glossy almost, but it doesn't look too like greasy. They're really, really beautiful. I really do like this a lot. I do find that this light pink blush does take like quite a bit of building up. It doesn't really show up quite that well, especially for me. Yeah, I know you can't even see that, but especially for me who likes to have like quite a lot of blush, it doesn't quite show up quite as bright as I would like it to, but overall I do really like this, and I am kind of glad that I have it. And along with that order, I also bought the Sephora blush palette. I think they have multiple versions. This is like the warm toned version of this. This was on sale at the time, and I was like, let's just get it. And to be honest, I haven't gotten that much use out of this palette. It's probably not something that I needed or that was worth the purchase. I probably won't get rid of it because I do want to try to get more use out of it. The main reason that I feel like I don't get enough use out of this is because the glowy blushes in here are pretty glowy. Like, they're almost like looks like you put a deep highlighter on your cheeks in like not the best way. I'm going to try to get more use out of this. That's something in the back of my mind recently that I have wanted to do. Overall, I don't think it's bad. It's just not something for me personally in my collection that I've gotten a ton of use out of. but I just saw it on sale and I was like, let's get it. I guess we'll go in chronological order of these purchases in my lifetime. So this, a little bit of background, this summer, I think I bought this summer after I bought the first items that I showed you. I got, like, throughout all of my high school, I hadn't really gotten, in Canada, if you make under a certain amount per year, like if you're a high school student and you like have a part-time job or whatever, you get like a check back in the mail, like a tax return. And for whatever reason, I hadn't been getting mine for like all of high school. So, and also like my first couple years of university. So I got a fat check in the mail for like I think maybe like $1,000 or something. And I was like, holy shit, I'm bawling. So I was like, I'm gonna make a Colourpop order. So I made a Colourpop order. It was pretty substantial. I was like truly the happiest I've ever been. I was like, I'm rich. And I was like, ooh, like look at this huge like box of makeup. It wasn't like exorbitant. I think it was like maybe $100. And then there were a few things that I had taken out of my cart and I was like, I won't get these. And then I got a little bit drunk and I was like, I'm gonna get all the things that I didn't get in my first order and I'm going to buy them now. And this was like, I think 5 days after I placed my first order. And in the back of my mind, I was like, Laura, you shouldn't do this. And then I did it anyway. And so I got like, I mean, it's Colourpop, so it's like relatively inexpensive, but so it's not like breaking the bank, but anyway, so I got 4 Creme Gel Liners, which actually probably one of the best drunk decisions I've ever made because I do really like these liners. I got the shade Venus, which is a red, which I love. I love this so much. I use it all the time. Then I got the shade Boots, which is a hot pink, and I don't like this one. I don't think it performs very well. I think it's a little bit dry. These liners can be kind of hit and miss. And then I got the shade Puppy, which I also love. It's like a bright orange. And then I got the shade Mr. Bing, which is, I think this was a collaboration with Kathleen Lights. Anyway, it's like a warm brown. Again, I don't really get as much use out of this because I generally opt for a black over like a brown, but I guess it's nice to have. So overall, good choices, okay? And I think they had a sale as well. It was like the end of a sale and I was like, I have to get these things before the sale ends. Anyway, and then I got the lip gloss. This is the Ultra Glossy Lip in Fairy Floss. Again, I know Kathleen Lights talked about this all the time. This had been something that I had wanted for a really long time. And I do actually like this. It's a really beautiful, I don't know why I'm swatching these, but it is a really beautiful like nude for my complexion gloss. I think if you were much deeper than me, it would probably be a little bit milky, but for me, it really is a perfect nude. And I actually do need to get more use out of this because I really do like it. I fucking hate the applicator though because like it gets all fucking splayed. It's like Kylie Cosmetics first lip gloss launch. I don't know why anyone chooses to have brush tip applicators for glosses over a doe foot. I think it's always the wrong decision, but anyway. Yeah, I do really like this. It's not like the best gloss I've ever used. It's not the worst. It's like pretty standard of a gloss formula, but it is nice and I do like the color of it. And then I originally in my first order got 2 of the Kathleen Lights and Colourpop blushes, and then I wanted all of them so then I got the other 2. So I got, I think in my first order I got the shade, the shade names are not on it. Anyway, I think I got this one, which is like a light peach. And then this like, this is I know called so retrograde. It's like a shimmery orange. And then I got the other 2 that I wanted, which I actually really appreciate this because I got the mauve one in this order, which is really beautiful and a blush that I don't have many of in my collection. I think this is a very unique color and I really do like the formula of these blushes. I don't know, I don't really feel that great about Colourpop, so I'm not really buying from them right now. But I do like these a lot. And then I also got My Sun and My Stars. This is such a beautiful blush. This is the most delectable, like satin, coral, bright blush. It's so pretty. And so I am happy about Drunk Me that I ended up getting that. And then, it's not done. And then in the original order, I got 2 of the Colourpop and Disney Villains highlighters. So I got the Maleficent one. This is just like a haul from like a year ago. It's turning into that, but anyway, it's just like a champagne, and then the Cruella one, which is a pink. In this order, I wanted all of them, but I reined myself in, and then I also got the Hades blush. Angelica Nikovas talks about this all the time. She's probably at least 1 or 2 shades deeper than me, but I was like, I want to have it. And I have a problem with buying highlighters that are just too dark for me because I want to make them work. I really like this formula. I think there's something really unique and special about the Colourpop Super Shock Cheek Highlighter formula. It makes your cheeks glow in a way that is just like nothing I have ever experienced. I think it's really pretty. I don't know why I chose to swatch it here, but it's basically this, I don't know if you can see it. It's just like a peachy pink shade. It is really pretty. I can use this if I wear like a strong blush, and because I always wear a strong blush, I can usually get away with highlighters that are a little bit deep for me, but it is really beautiful. And I do like to have them just because I also just wanted the Hades one because I was like, Hades is the best Disney villain. He was my favorite Disney villain as a child. And so, yeah, I got it. And then last but not least, there's still more. I got the Super Shock Shadow and Frog. I once upon a time made an order from Colourpop when they first launched, like when they only had Super Shock shadows and like lippy sticks, and I got 4 Super Shock shadows, and they all had smashed or dried out. So I'm not really keen on Super Shock shadows just because I know personally I'm not going to get enough use out of them to justify buying them before they go bad or dry out or whatever. But then this was on sale and I thought it was really pretty and I got it. And I do like this a lot. It reminds me of the Stila Glimmer and Glow like liquid shadow I have in Wanderlust, except it's like it's in a pressed shadow form. It doesn't have a ton of pigment, but it's kind of like a light pink glittery topper, and I do really like this. I think I used this in the last video that I filmed. So overall, good choices. I made good choices in this order. All of these are products that I do like use in my rotation quite frequently, so good job, drunk me. A++. And then for a little bit, I made a pause in my drunk purchasing habits, and then it's come out again in full force in 2020. So then Juvia's Place had a sale. I haven't talked about these palettes yet on my channel, but Juvia's Place had a sale, and I have a dream of collecting all the Juvia's Place palettes, so I was like, well, I need to get these. So I had these sitting in my cart for a while, and I was leaning towards not getting them. I was like, no, like you don't need them. You just want to like have them to complete a collection that is really extra and unnecessary, and like you don't need to collect all the palettes from Juvia's Place. And then then I got a little tipsy and I was like, you know what? I actually do need them all. So I bought 4 more. And I guess I'll show you them now, obviously, that's the point of the video. The first one I got is the Afriq Palette. I do like this. I think it's a pretty palette. I think this would not be a palette that I would use by itself. I would have to use this as a companion palette with something else because there are a lot of primary colors in here that are mid-tone. I have that issue a ton with Juvia's Place palettes that I find that I need to grab for deeper shades. I haven't used this yet. I've swatched it. There are some really beautiful shimmers, especially in this palette, so I am excited to play with it. I've been saving these palettes because I want to do videos with them, and I think the way I'm going to use them is combining them with other palettes in my collection and then maybe doing like 3 looks, 1 video type of deal. Then I also got the Nomad palette. I think I've wanted this so badly since it first released. I think this is such a beautiful palette. I'm so happy to have this. It's not necessarily unique to my collection, but I love the tones and the color story of this palette. And then I got the Warrior, the original Warrior palette. This was something that I had never really, wasn't on the top of my list to buy just because it is such a neutral palette. But out of all of these, I've actually used almost all of the shades in here. And this has become like my go-to neutral palette. I think the tones in here are so beautiful, and it gives me very much Urban Decay Naked Honey vibes. Really, really pretty. If you like are a neutral lover, or you like golds, or I feel like if you want, I don't have the Urban Decay Naked Honey, but I feel like if you wanted this and you wanted that and you wanted something more affordable, this would be good. And then I got the Warrior 3, which I know that people didn't love it, but I really have thought that this was a beautiful palette from the first launch of it, and I am really glad that I have it. I mean, I don't really regret this purchase because I just like collecting Juvia's Place shadows. Like, it gives me warmth and joy inside, and I really love their quality, and I love using them. They're one of my most reached for palettes in my collection, and I know that I'm going to get use out of these and love and use them, so it is what it is. I feel like I don't really regret it. I'll get into regrets later. Then you'll all be shocked, maybe not, but based on the way that I've been talking about this palette, maybe you'll think that it's a shock that I actually bought this when I was a little bit under the influence. I think maybe I had like 2 drinks, but it really gave me the push to buy it. Pat McGrath Mothership Mega Celestial Divinity palette. I could not be happier with Drunk Me based on making this purchase. This has brought so much joy and happiness into my life. 10 out of 10, best drunk purchase I've ever made. I love this palette, and just because it is a little bit more expensive, I needed that extra little push to do it, but I have no regrets. No regrets. I love this thing to death. I want to be buried with this palette. I love it so much. And then, second to last, I suppose, this is a palette that I probably wouldn't have bought if I wasn't a little bit tipsy, because I knew that I didn't need it, and I knew that I was just buying it because it was on sale, but I wanted it so bad. Colored Rain Juicy Boost. Like I said, I talked about this in my first impressions video that it should be posted by the time I'm posting this, I hope. I got a text that it was 25%, or no, that it was 50% off, so $25, and I was like, oh, I want it so bad. I knew that I shouldn't buy it because it had been getting bad reviews, but I was like, I just want it anyway. I love this color story so much, and so I was like, I'm gonna do it. And I did it. And I, again, really don't have any regrets over buying this palette because I think it's really beautiful. Okay, so now it's time for confessions. First of all, I'll start by saying my channel is a judgment-free zone, okay? So we don't judge each other. We don't judge me for the decisions that I've made, especially the decisions I've made after I've had a couple drinks in me, okay? So, in the summer of 2020, this past summer, a lot of the Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes went on sale at Sephora, and I was like, I know that they've been getting a lot of hate. I think I even shit on them. I shit on them for like releasing them in such quick succession. But I always really liked the color stories. They were always something that I wanted, and I talked about that in some of my other videos. And I even like the small ones. Like, I don't know what it was, but there was something about those palettes that I just thought were so nice and beautiful, and I just wanted them. I wanted to try them out. I wanted to try their formula. So they went on a pretty significant discount, like 40% off for something on Sephora. Maybe it was a Labor Day sale. I don't know. Sephora's been doing hella sales this past year, so who fucking knows at this point. Anyway, and so I was like, I want to get them, but I know that I shouldn't, because again, like, I don't need eyeshadow palettes, but Drunk Me decides that I need them all. And so I was like, I'm not going to get them. And then one day we were having a social distanced, like, park meeting with two of our friends. like a couple friends, so it was like kind of our little pod. But anyway, we were social distance in the park. It was allowed, okay? We're very strict about following COVID rules, so let that be known. Anyway, so we were like drinking beer. Actually, I was probably drinking Bombay Zeros. But anyway, we were like having some summer drinks, and you know, conversation was flowing, alcohol was flowing. Anyway, we got back and we were like pretty wasted. This time I was like feeling the drinks, and I decided I'm gonna fucking do it. I'm gonna buy all these palettes. So I bought, I think it was like maybe like $100-ish, and I ordered them, and whatever, they came. And in between the time that I ordered these palettes and the time that I received them, all of the drama with ABH had kind of been aired about how they were being like so shitty to Black creators, specifically how they treated Donnie Darkowitz, who is one of my favorite Instagram creators. And so then I was like, well, fuck, I have these palettes now from a brand that I really like actually don't want to support anymore. And like, I don't want to feature them on my channel, obviously, because I, you know, don't want to like talk about this brand, but like, I shouldn't have bought them in the first place. And so I ended up returning them to Sephora via mail, and let me tell you, that was a process. I try like I think I've returned one makeup item in my life. I don't like to return makeup, and also generally I like, unless it's like some of these purchases that I talked about here, I do put generally like some thought into like my purchases. So like I'm usually not just like buying things and returning them, and it's obviously wasteful because I'm like gonna throw it out, etc. But I just was like, I'd rather just have my money back. And if I can return them, I'm going to. And it took, I mean, I'm not like really complaining about this because eventually I did get my money back. I'm sure like I know the postal service is like hella overwhelmed. But yeah, it took me like so long to get my money back to you. I like called them and I was like, so I sent these palettes, like did they get lost in the mail or what? But anyway, I got them back in the end. But if you ever make purchases that you regret, don't feel alone, because I also have. I hope this video helps you feel like seen in some way. I thought it would just be kind of fun, because there have been points in my life where I've been a little bit of a mess. I feel like I've kind of collected myself in like recent years, but yeah, I have made some interesting decisions after I've drinking some alcohol. So let me know if you have made any, well, purchases you maybe regret, or purchases that you made while being under the influence of it. I mean, I guess anything. I don't judge. Because I would genuinely love to know, and it would also make me feel less alone. So yeah, I hope that this video was fun to watch, or you like, I don't know, felt like you weren't alone in some of the decisions that you've made in your life. Because I've made some bad ones too. Okay, so thank you so much for watching, everyone. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see from me, and I hope I will see you next time. Bye. Ugh, fuck, you can't even see that. I like this. Okay, I need to fucking wrap it up.